My name is Briony Campbell. It's broader, but I am essentially a documentary photographer, now working in video as well. I've been doing it for about 12 years, working freelance for about 7 or 8 maybe. My clients are often in the arts and education. And my personal work is documentary work, really, and I tend to work on quite long, slow, involved projects. My first job was shooting nursery school kids all around the country. And then I got a job in a studio, and then I went freelance there. I had a nice boss who was very flexible about allowing me to kind of build towards my career, even gave me like 3 months off to go shoot in Africa. And so that was a nice sort of way to go gently into freelance. I wasn't just sort of out in the deep end. The personal projects I was working on back then was also in Africa. Shooting stories of young, creative, ambitious kind of Africans, a lot of musicians and artists. That work is something that's still kind of close to my heart and really led to what I'm doing now. The most important work I've done was, coincidentally, during my MA year, my dad got diagnosed with terminal cancer, and really through the support on that course I was able to tell that story and document the story of him dying. I was really upset and I thought maybe I should defer to take care of my dad, but then in the end I did this, and it was the most wonderful thing that I've done and probably ever will do, to be able to experience such a seemingly negative experience. Obviously it was, I lost my dad, but to be able to make that into something positive that has now touched a lot of other people, and I get messages from people who've seen it that it maybe made them look at their relationships in another way. The project that was really sort of in me somehow that I had postponed when my dad got sick was back in Africa, and somehow trying to talk about my relationship to these countries, East Africa, that I'm familiar with. So that's when I decided to look at white people living in Africa, and I wanted it to be intimate stories, and going back to my own sort of first experience of the kind of the most integrated I felt was having a boyfriend there, which happened when I was 19 and very sort of wide-eyed, and it was obviously a big experience for me. And since that experience, I've really, been fascinated by other similar British-African relationships. So I decided to photograph those couples who are one British and one African. And so far I've done that in 4 countries in East Africa. And that's, for the last 2 years I've been working on that, and now, and still am, and will continue to, and it's called Britain Loves Africa.